Hi, Goddess of Awesome here, and I wanted to just touch in really quick and say that I got my rental car. I'm still on day 3. Actually, lost quite a bit of work from not having a car right off. Like last night, I could have booked two serious appointments who wanted a 7 o'clock. One wanted a 7 o'clock, and one probably would have went with whatever time I gave him, maybe 8 or 8:30. I couldn't do that because I had to get on an 8 o'clock bus and make it down to the next town that has a bank that belongs to me that I could actually make a deposit and get my rental car. So I went to get my car. I could have squeezed in a 30-minute session beforehand, but I had to let that go. I had to actually call and cancel it right after I booked it because my taxi had showed up a little early, and that was good because sometimes taxis don't show up on time. It's a beautiful thing that there's Lyft and Uber out there now, because people who've had to depend on taxis for a long time, they're unreliable. I have missed airplanes because of taxis. I have waited and waited and waited for a ride for a taxi to never come, so that kind of bites. So getting my rental car, so it was taking a little longer, which I almost anticipated, because almost like a phone store, you never know at a rental car place. It may take a little longer. They may not have cars. They may have to wait. They may have to clean your car, which they had to do with mine. So I had a 4 p.m. This is all happening around the 3 o'clock hour. I left around 2:45 to go hit the bank and get my car. And so I had a 4 o'clock booked, someone who had already seen me. And I had texted him about 3:30 asking for 15 minutes extra because I just kind of thought I might need that buffer of time. And he never got back to me. So I figured, maybe I'd hear from him closer to 4. Maybe he was busy in a meeting or had his phone turned off, couldn't get to me. So I got the car and I decided to get some food because I was starving, absolutely starving. And so I almost went for fast food. I'm so glad I didn't. Everything in my heart and being and my bones and my gut said, go to the food place you like, which is this groovy little Mexican joint here who feeds, has really good food and they serve you fast. And so I went there and I thought, okay, well, I still have enough time. I could get it to go or whatever I could do. Get some real food. That's a thing that happens when you work a lot like this. If you have busy days, it's hard to get food. So I was definitely at the point where I super duper needed to eat, and I decided to eat there. And I'm so glad I did, because I had texted him again just a few minutes before 4. Hey, I had to get my rental car. It took a little longer. Is 4:15 all right? And I still never heard from him. So I started getting really thankful and grateful that I listened to my gut feeling and I went to get the real food, not the icky, fast food, something that would serve my body. And I took my time eating. I didn't have to rush and inhale my food, So typically when someone stands me up, I definitely blacklist them. And this person I had seen before. So I could tell by the text messages, right? I went back on the text messages. So around, as I'm eating, I went back on the text messages even further, and I realized that this is actually a really special person. And this is the town I'm in right now is definitely a weekday town. Most towns are weekday towns. Few towns are weekend towns or can support you on a weekend. Where I go, it's a lot of family zones, so people, a lot of conservative zones, so people spend time with their family on the weekends, so they can really only play on the weekdays. So I had been here on a weekend once. The bank I use, they're actually open here on a Saturday. So I had come, I think, months ago to hit the bank and maybe do a few appointments in this town. This town can be really busy, and then there's times where there's nothing. Today was a really busy day. If I didn't have to stop my day and go get a rental car, I would have done much better. So anyways, getting back to this client, the 4 o'clock, who I'm not hearing from him, right? He's booked. I'm telling him I'm late and he hasn't gotten back to me. So I go back and I look at my text messages about what we had ever said to one another. And the last time he saw me, I was someplace really nice, like super duper nice. And It was a weekend, and it was awful. I had like saw almost nobody, you know, and I was packing up my car. I was just ready to hit it, you know, leave early, get to the next town, and when I had most of my stuff in the car, this person booked. This is previous months before. And I told him, wow, you just caught me, you know, I was on my way. It's been a very slow day, you know, and I'm just ready to go. But if you're a serious person, I will wait for you, you know. And he was serious, and he did show up. Now, that particular day, a few months ago, I think that's probably maybe October, he was so kind. Like, because I had maybe mentioned, and he didn't need to do this, he didn't have to do that, but me mentioning to him that I was halfway packed up, I was in the car, I literally had just turned the engine on, I think, so I unpack the car and take the table out and get it all set up for him. Well, that day that he came in, he tipped me like 80 bucks, like almost 100. It wasn't 100, but it was more than 50. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like 80 bucks. It could have been 65, but I'm going to say 80. I'm pretty sure he gave me a heavy tip for no reason other than he felt inspired to help me or make my trip better or inspire me. I think that's what he said. He wanted to inspire me to still come back to this town. He didn't want me to write this town off. Isn't that sweet of him for everyone in this town to try to help keep me wanting to come back? So that's my 4 o'clock who didn't show. He didn't show today. He didn't touch base with me and let me know. He didn't cancel. Normally I would definitely blacklist him, but looking back on previous text messages, I know who this is. I know who this person is. And I think he, you know, he deserves the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not going to blacklist him. You know, this particular time, I'm not at as nice of a place, right? I had to go to a hotel that wasn't as nice as I normally would go to, just because I didn't have enough on my credit card for it. So I had to go someplace that would accept cash. And this particular place, you know, it's decent. It's not the best. I'm not totally comfortable or happy here myself. But I am thankful and grateful for the people who were brave enough to come see me today. I had a regular come see me. I had some new people come see me. And that's a blessing, you know. So for this 4 o'clock who didn't show and didn't talk to me and tell me what's up, maybe he got pulled into a business meeting and couldn't get out. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he fell asleep and didn't mean to. I don't know. But because I remember who he is and he was so cool to me before, I'm definitely not going to blacklist him. You know, I think you need to, when you do blacklist people, obviously it's a case-by-case situation. Some people, I can hear it in their voice right away. Like this particular situation, I've seen him before. Don't know what happened, but I'm gonna give him a pass. You know, I'm not gonna write him off. So I'm gonna wrap up the video. It's time to go. It's time to hit the road. I'm headed more into Snowyville, headed north, and I'll have some updates for you tomorrow. So I am the Goddess of Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you like this video at all, give it a thumbs up. If you like any of my videos, please subscribe, and bright blessings, and be well.